What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Dylan Mathews back at it again with another hometown take. Today I'm talking about the Atlanta Hawks, and boy oh boy do we got some news to talk about, y'all. John Collins basically is gonna be traded. The trade is almost seeming like it's inevitable. Chris Gent has gone to the Lakers, and there's a lot more other things to talk about. Moves could start happening this week because it's draft night on Thursday night. We're going to get into it, but before we do that, make sure you guys like this video, comment your thoughts, subscribe to the channel, check out the link down below. To buy me a coffee to help fuel this channel, help fuel the Atlanta Hawks to a great off season and potentially a great draft night that may or may not include a big trade. We'll see. But buy me coffee if you can. Make sure your notification bells are turned on so you can get my content as soon as it drops. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to miss a single video, a single live stream, none of that. So make sure your notification bells are turned on. And finally, like I told you guys in my last video, Hometown Take is coming to 92.9 The Game, so drop your questions, anything NBA or Atlanta Hawks related, so I can read them off in my mailbag segment that we're gonna do at the end of the show. So tune in to 92.9 The Game. You can get the Odyssey app to tune in, or if you're in your car, just turn it to 92.9 FM, or use the Odyssey app and listen to it. Just search 92.9 The Game. So you can listen to it in your house, on the go, wherever you're at, you can listen to it. So get the Odyssey app, or if you're in your car, just put in 92.9. Anywho, drop your questions, but let's get right into the video. So first things first, I just mentioned it, the Los Angeles Lakers are hiring Atlanta Hawks assistant coach Chris Gent to become the top assistant coach. Sources tell ESPN, this is from Adrian Wojnarowski. This is a Woj mini bomb, not a huge bomb, but a Woj mini bomb for the Atlanta Hawks. New coach Darvin Ham recruited Gent over the past week to lead his staff. Gent has a strong history with LeBron James from early Cleveland years. Darvin Ham and Chris Gent also have some history because Ham and Gent worked together for a season with the Hawks under Mike Budenholzer and have maintained a strong relationship. So good for Chris Gent. He's going on to Laker Town to be the top assistant coach for new Los Angeles Lakers head coach Darvin Ham. So shout out to Chris Gent, but we got to find a new top assistant coach now, so we shall see who that becomes. But that'll be Hawks news for a later date. As we keep the Atlanta Hawks news rolling, I told you the John Collins trade is almost inevitable. At this point, it seems like. I want you to see this video. This was on SportsCenter. This is Adrian Wojnarowski talking about John Collins, the Atlanta Hawks, gonna be aggressive this week and probably the most aggressive team this offseason. Just listen to what Adrian Wojnarowski has to say about the Atlanta Hawks and John Collins.
With the Hawks, they're as motivated as any team in the league to make a significant deal or deals to improve their team, try to find a co-star for Trae Young. I think it's very likely John Collins is going to be a part of any of those deals. I think he's very likely on the move somewhere this week as they try to do something big in Atlanta.
So something could happen early as this week, Adrian Wojnarowski is saying, and there could be a major draft night trade between the Atlanta Hawks and somebody, we don't know, but there could be a major trade going down during draft night. Adrian Wojnarowski isn't the only one saying this. Jonathan Giovanni at Draft Express says, quote, John Collins could be a catalyst for a major draft day trade, potentially in a package with Kevin Huerter that would net Atlanta the number 4 overall pick in the draft. Again, that's coming from, I got the tweet from the trade deadline when I was scrolling through Twitter, but that's via Draft Express and Jonathan Giovanni. I didn't have access to the article because I went to the source that you see, and I don't got ESPN Plus anymore. So, anywho, Jonathan Giovanni is saying there could be a major blockbuster type trade with the Atlanta Hawks, John Collins, Kevin Huerter, and possibly the number 4 overall pick, which is held by the Sacramento Kings, I believe. So it could come between the Hawks and the Kings, so the Hawks can get that number 4 overall pick. So there you go, big John Collins trade news as well. But that is not it. I like my guy Pat Benson Jr. He covers the Atlanta Hawks for Sports Illustrated, and he was also saying that because there's been a lot of stuff around John Collins this week. We've seen Shams report stuff. We've seen Mark Stein report stuff, which we'll get into in a second. And we also seen, I forget this dude's last name. I think his first name is Jeff Fisher. Yeah, Jeff Fisher. He reporting stuff as well. And Pat Benson Jr. says if Shams, Stein, and Fisher are all reporting the same thing, then it's true. I'm confident that we've seen our last game with John Collins in a Hawks uniform. Sheesh. That's crazy, y'all. I'm telling you, it's really seeming like, and Woj is obviously reporting this now too, it basically seems like John Collins is getting traded, and it only seems like a matter of time. Now, I can't say I'm happy to see John Collins go. I'm happy to see the Hawks being aggressive. And if you think about it, John Collins is our best trade piece. So if we want to get something good, if we want to get another star, we're going to have to give up something, which is a young up-and-coming star that John Collins is and potentially could be, and it can include Kevin Huerter as well. So to get something, you got to give up something. And a lot of teams like John Collins, he's on a fair contract. He's under contract, so they know they're going to have control of him for the next, 4 or 5 years. He's young, under contract, and he can do a lot. He's added a lot of facets to a game since coming in. He's not just a dunker, he's a jump shooter. He can do a lot of good things. He rebounds the basketball very well as well. So if you make John Collins a focal point of your team, he can easily be a 20-10 dude. But I think the Hawks have just had an issue making him a focal point of the team with, emerging Trae Young and all that stuff. And we'll also talk about another reason why I really think John Collins is out of the door. So, matter of fact, let's go ahead and get into that. So, Pat Benson put out an article basically going over, what Mark Stein said in his article, which I'm not subscribed to, which you got to be subscribed to get Mark Stein article. So we're going to go over Pat Benson's article because he put all the key points in there anyway. So shout out to Pat Benson. All right. So he says, quote, there are several key takeaways from Stein's article. First, let's start with John Collins, who has been at the center of every trade rumor for 2 years. According to Stein, the likelihood of a Collins trade is as high as it's ever been. The veteran reporter added, I've been advised that relocation for Collins this offseason is pretty much expected now. Woo, sheesh. Expected. It's likely nothing. It's expected. Goodness. Pat went on to write, quote, Stein believes Clint Capela is less likely to be traded than Collins. Stein cites Capela's close relationship with all-NBA point guard Trae Young, quote, saying, Capela has been described to me a true young favorite, unquote. Stein clarifies that doesn't mean Capela is untouchable, but Atlanta's front office would have to make a clear upgrade, i.e. Rudy Gobert, DeAndre Ayton, to part with a player so close to Young. So basically saying that Trae Young likes playing with Clint Capela more than he does John Collins. I don't know if it's necessarily that blunt, but it kind of seems that blunt. Trae Young saying Clint Capela is a favorite of Trae Young. Trae Young likes to play with Clint Capela. They've obviously got good chemistry off the pick and roll. Throws a lot of lobs to Clint. Clint does a lot of good work down low, rebounding wise. He's a good defender. And he's a Trae Young favorite. And if you're a Trae Young favorite, then there's a better chance you stick around because they're going to want to put pieces around Trae Young that obviously are good, but also Trae Young likes playing with. So it might just be the short end of the stick for John Collins. Not to say that Trae Young doesn't like playing with John Collins. He just maybe likes playing with Clint Capela more, and that's what it seems like here. So interesting stuff there as well. So with Clint Capela, whose name also has been thrown around out there, seems like he's going to be more safe because Trae Young likes playing with him a little bit more. So keeping it moving. I think this is going to be the last piece. Yeah. So also, Pat went on to say, one final interesting piece of news involves a failed trade between the Hawks and the Pistons. Apparently, the Hawks did not like the trade framework of Jerami Grant for Bogdan Bogdanovic and the number 16 draft pick. Pat also goes on to say it's been a busy morning for Hawks fans. Earlier, Shams Charania, I never know how to say his last name, of The Athletic cites recent trade talks with the Kings and Timberwolves. Despite all of the reports from multiple outlets, Atlanta's front office maintains that no major overhaul is coming this summer. Well, the cat's out of the bag, Atlanta front office. Landry Fields, Travis Link, we know a major overhaul looks like it's coming, so you can stop the front. But I understand why they would say that. They're not gonna say we about to trade everybody, because then they lose value. You can't let people know certain players are on the market, because then they lose value. So you're not gonna say, yeah, this dude, we definitely want to trade him, we definitely want to trade this dude, we definitely want to trade that dude. You're not gonna say that, because then the players lose value. So, basically starting to close thing out, with the hours dwindling before the start of the NBA draft, you can expect more enticing rumors to surface. There you go. So, one to take away, we almost got Jerami Grant for Bogey and the number 16 overall pick, but it seemed like the framework was basically Jerami Grant, Bogey, and the number 16 overall pick. They not want to give up Bogey. They want to give up a different player. I'm not sure, were there other things in that trade that they didn't like? So I'm wondering exactly why the trigger wasn't pulled on that trade. Was it Bogey? Was it the pick and Bogey? Was it something else in that trade that the Hawks didn't like? I don't know, but we were close to getting Jerami Grant. And it's even funny enough because Bogdan Bogdanovic on his Instagram story, I think he said this on his Twitter as well. No, I think he just said this on his Twitter. He said, all is well. And I think he put the hashtag IYK, something YK. If you know, you know, basically. That was the hashtag, if you know, you know. So Bogey must have known he dodged the trade bullet to go to the Pistons. And now he's saying all is well. So maybe Bogey is safe from the trade block now, which I like. I like the fact that Bogey is now okay with coming off the bench. He's a veteran scoring option coming off the bench who can create his own shot. We've all seen Bogey get hot, and he's been more consistent, in my opinion, coming off the bench than what he was starting. So I'm definitely in favor of keeping Bogey on this team and keeping him in that six-man role. I think he thrives in that role. I think he's really good in that role. So I'm very happy if the Hawks decide to keep Bogey and keep him in that six-man role. I think that's a great position for the Hawks and Bogey to both be in. So, like I said, a lot of news. That's all I had for you guys. So, just to recap, we're losing Chris Gent to the Lakers. That's like the smallest of things. There could be a huge draft night trade between John Collins, Kevin Huerter for the number 4 overall pick. We almost got Jerami Grant for Bogey Bogdanovic and the number 16 overall pick. And Woj, Shams, Mark Stein, Jeff Fisher, Pat Benson all believe that the John Collins trade is inevitable. So there you go. I mean, I feel like a storm is brewing when it comes to the Atlanta Hawks this offseason, all the changes that are going to be made. I think the bottom is about to fall out of the sky. You know, when you see like outside, you just see the big cumulonimbus clouds, and you just know it's about to go down with the weather outside. I feel like it's about to go down with the moves we're about to see the Atlanta Hawks making. So I can't wait, man. I really cannot wait. I can't wait to talk about it with y'all. So make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure you got your notification bells on. Make sure you tap into this channel. That way you can see my instant reaction to when things start to go down, because it's about to go down. You feel me? So make sure you guys like this video, comment your thoughts, subscribe to the channel, turn on notification bell so when things start to get crazy in Atlanta Hawks world, you can get my content as soon as I drop it. You can be the first one to like, comment, all that good stuff. So make sure your notification bells are turned on. Make sure you're subscribed. Comment your thoughts down below. What do you think? John Collins basically seems like he's going to get traded, and there ain't no way around it. Ain't no way around it. So let me know how you're feeling in the comments down below, and make sure you guys, stay locked in. But till I talk to you guys next time, make sure you guys stay true to Atlanta, believe in Atlanta, go Hawks. Peace.